everybody! It's your girl, Amanda Sweet, the creative fairy godmother and the founder of the ReVamp. And...
Hi everybody, I'm Mariah Smith and I am the ReVamp's creative consultant.
And we were just talking one day and we were like, we should probably do a video series. So
here we are.
Here we are. That was last week. That's this week. And we're just going to jump right into it. Do you want to just tell a little bit about what the ReVamp is? Maybe?
Yeah. So basically the ReVamp, it has just evolved so much. It began, Amanda came from Detroit and she came down here and she didn't know anybody and she's like, wow, like I need to make friends and I need clothes to swap with my new friends. And so it started out as this clothing swap, but over the past year it's just grown and developed so much, and really we just view it as a platform for creatives to get together, have resources, we all promote each other, and just a way to climb to the top together.
Yeah. Breezy always says, rising tides lift all boats.
Yes.
And he's like drilled it into my brain. And I've kind of always done like things like that. Like I'm always like, how can I make everybody win? Mm-hmm. And I think something about the ReVamp has been so easy. Like people are just so willing to, one, help, 2, put out really, really good work, and 3, share it with everybody. Like it's just been it's been beautiful. So we kind of wanted to take it to a next level and just share a little bit about what we do and how we do it, and if we can provide any resources for anybody out there that's looking to start a community or start a group or start a business or whatever, start something, or be an artist or be an entrepreneur, that we can be here as a resource, or you could be one of our resources or vice versa.
Yeah, and it's definitely like a safe place to experiment with things that you've always wanted to do, but you just are holding yourself back. Like this is the place and the people to do it with. So it's really great. It's just really great. Our baby's growing up.
And seriously, it is like, and I don't want it to sound like a commercial, but I've been wanting to do more video for a very, very long time. Mariah's been bugging me for a while. She's like, you need to hurry up and do a series. So I'm like, okay, fine. So here we are. Yep. But anyway, we digress. So Mariah, what is currently inspiring you to restyle the way you live your life? Like what are you working on, or what are you taking in right now?
I feel like most of my inspiration comes from the people that are around me. I spent my whole life looking for just great people who inspire me, and I finally feel like I found it, and that's so awesome. So obviously this woman right here inspires me so much, but I've got all sorts of talented friends that do all kinds of things, so many creatives that are just always doing something, and so I can just look around me and all the beautiful people I've met over the past few years, and I just kind of like soak that up, and I feel like that really helps keep me going when I'm feeling like down and like I can't really, like I don't have any motivation. I just look around and I'm like, wow, like, I can do great things and do things that make me happy just by pulling that inspiration from my friends and, other creatives out there as well. So
I think it's good that you're not looking at it as competition, but motivation or inspiration. I think sometimes we have a hard time like disassociating ourselves with other people's actions. Like,
it's hard,
you're doing it and I'm not doing it.
Sometimes it makes you feel bad. Social media is a crazy, crazy place, and it's up to you to decide, am I going to use it as a healthy tool, or am I going to let it mess with my head, which sometimes you do need to take a break from it.
Right.
Everyone understands that. But so I try my best not to compare myself.
I do it sometimes
hard,
too.
Though. I definitely do that.
You know what I do whenever I feel that way? I DM them. If I'm ever feeling
good advice.
so if I'm seeing somebody and they're doing amazing work and I'm just like, holy crap, there's just like pow after pow after pow, I'm like, I want to work with you. Teach me. Show me. Give me some of this juice and I'll give you some sauce. Like, let's share. And that's my biggest thing, is like if I'm feeling like super overpowered by a feeling, I try to combat it with something positive.
I like that.
I don't do it all the time, but I do it often. Like I'd be sliding into creative DMs. I'd be like, hey.
I feel like you should never be afraid to do that, because the worst thing they're going to do is like not respond. So you shouldn't be afraid, because most of the time they're going to be nice and they're going to give you advice on how to reach your goals. So I like that.
I like it too. I guess right now I'm not only I'm definitely pulling a lot of inspiration from the people around me. That's like, I didn't even think about that. That's right there. But right now I'm listening to an audio book called The Magic of Thinking Big. I think it's David Schultz. I will make sure it's correct and we'll link it. But it's been a big deal in this house lately. It's like it's not rocket science, what he's talking about, but it's definitely just reiterating the steps and ways to be successful and to be a powerhouse and to be motivational and to inspire people. And some of the things are so simple, like one of them was it's basically dress for success. Right? Like if you wake up, like, because I work from home, and so sometimes I wake up and I don't change my clothes. And usually on those days where I'm wearing my PJs, I don't get as much work done. Like I'm just like slow like a sloth and just not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. But when I get up and I get dressed and I feel and look important, and then I go and I do my important work, then I create opportunities for more important things to happen. That's one of them, dress for success. But the other one is walk faster. Walk faster.
I'm a power walker, so
yeah, like they say, if you ever look at people who are successful, they walk significantly faster than people who are not as successful because they have a sense of urgency just within their actions and their emotions, and then people look at them in that way, and then they create more opportunities for themselves that are a little bit more advanced. So dress for success, walk faster, use like colorful words in your vocabulary, so complimenting people, or when somebody asks you how your day's going, say it's going phenomenal, or something fun, because it's the law of attraction. It's just going to bring it all back to you, and it's going to resonate with you. So the magic of thinking big has been like a really big deal for me, and I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah,
like
well, it's all about changing your mindset.
Yeah.
It really takes you further than you think it would.
And it's like, sometimes for me, like, I wasn't always super positive, and I'm still now not always super positive. So whenever I'm feeling like really low or just a little shaky, I just play positive stuff in the background, and it's like
resonates in your head.
It's not even, it's just like, I'm like, what is the word? Hypnotizing myself.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where I was listening to only Abraham Hicks, and she's also amazing, and Tony Robbins, like all of those people that talk about the secret and the law of attraction. It was just like, I wasn't even listening, like actively listening,
your subconscious is
but there's like words, and I'm like, oh, like I'm saying all these words that people are saying, and now I have like these, it just comes out and it feels good, and I'm not thinking these negative thoughts. So those are some of my inspirations right now.
Love it.
Yeah. So how are you remixing your everyday? Like, what are you doing to involve some of these new inspirations and things?
Yeah, so I guess like if I'm ever feeling like I'm stuck in a rut, like I said, I look to those around me for inspiration and kind of try to channel that energy into projects. I swear I always have a million things going on. I am doing like 27 million things every day. That's just how my mind works. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint like one project exactly. But I really just try to soak in all of that creativity that surrounds me and apply it to all of the goals that I have, and just try to implement it. There's just always a lot.
You are always busy, but it makes me feel good. That's another thing, and I have to go back. That's another thing that they say about in the magic of thinking big. You can never have too much on your plate if you have the right mentality. So if you are able to manage your time and delegate tasks and have the activation energy to get stuff done, which you do, like, fill up your plate. Go for seconds.
And don't get me wrong, I love lazy.
Oh yeah, so do I. Like, people are like, you're always busy, and I'm like, no.
It just feels like sometimes in my head, like it feels like I'm never doing enough, even though I look at everything I'm doing and I'm like, okay, like you work like 4 jobs.
Right.
You're involved in extra things.
Extracurriculars.
As an adult, you're extracurriculars and all these things, but So I just try to channel that inspiration that I have to take from people. Like, I have to surround myself with good people, because if I don't, like, it's very easy for me to fall into a negative mindset. I've been running away from that my whole life, just because of my, you know, my past and everything. And so it's so important that I hang around people like this and other people that we've met, you know, in the past year. It's just so important for me, so I can keep fueling, you know, my inner fire to do all these things. So. Yeah,
and
definitely.
you're that for people too, because people look at you and think that they're like, oh my gosh, she's doing all this amazing stuff.
I'm a mess, guys.
No, but that's a good thing. Like, we are all, like, nobody's perfect.
No,
like, if we were to do like a pan of this room, there's shit everywhere. Like,
no, this room's actually really cool. Don't listen.
Anyway, but you know, like, we all have our versions of ourselves that we think we're supposed to be, and then we have the versions of ourselves that other people see. That we have no clue who that person is, you know. So when I look at you and think of you, I'm like, oh my gosh, she got her shit together. Like, she's doing all this stuff. She's always so cute, you know. But like, and then you turn around and look in your mind, and you're like, no,
my
this
mind
is not.
Is scary.
You know, but that's a place of, that can be a place of growth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. That's why, you know, why I try to soak up all the positive energy and really just help grow.
My mind used to be a very, like, I used to have, like, night terrors.
Yeah, sometimes I do,
And you can, and for the people out there that are listening, like, you can rechannel that energy. Like, you can definitely rechannel that energy into creative energy to execute work.
That's what I have to do, That's exactly what I do, is channel that energy, that extra energy going on.
That's so good. Yeah. That's so good, and I'm happy that this is a place for me to do that.
It's been very beneficial.
Yay! For me, I guess I'm just kind of implementing all that stuff in the book. Yeah. Like, really, I've been walking real fast. But also just like little things, like, so I do have my days where and it's been a lot lately, like I've been very lazy for some reason, but then I have my like powerhouse moments where I'm just like blasted through work in like no time. Yeah, but it's like when I have that activation energy, just baking on it, you know. We're not going to be perfect. I'm not ever striving to be perfect, so being able to execute the work that I can when I'm able to is really how I'm kind of trying to cope with the fact that I'm not this version of Amanda, because this version who I think I'm supposed to be versus the version that I am are two completely different things. And so these books that I've been reading are really kind of telling me, like, it's okay, just do what feels good and do what brings you joy. And so that's really how I'm trying to implement being better and remixing the way that I live my life. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Go team.
Go team. Okay, so ReUp us on professional advice. It's so wordy. Okay.
Yeah. So we
teach us something.
Yeah. So I am a digital marketer. That's one of the things. Yeah. One of the things, I'm a digital marketer, and so when you think about like building your brand, you know, whatever your creative thing is, it's so important that you build your brand to show the world who you are and what makes you different from the next person who does the same thing. And so, you know, one of the tricks and tools that we have, you know, we've got social media. Instagram has just become like a crazy place for people to really showcase anything and everything that they do. But so today I wanted to go over like one trick that a lot of people look over this because it's kind of, you know, in a way it's annoying. Yeah. So we're talking about hashtags. They're so important, but like this is so cringy. It just becomes so cringy over the years. But they're so important, guys, let me tell you. So the two ones that we're going to focus on today are local hashtags and niche hashtags. So but yeah, so local ones are super important. So for example, like, you know, we are in Denton, and so I hashtag Denton, Texas on all of our posts.
Every time.
You know, if we do something on the square, hashtag Denton Square. Like, you can do keyword research, and there's just so many local hashtags that can, you know, help you reach the Denton community.
Right.
Or, you know, sometimes we use Dallas ones, DFW, Fort Worth, like whoever you're trying to reach, you can really utilize these hashtags to expand into your global community and just build it and find like-minded people who are interested in your stuff. That's local. And then for niche hashtags, it's really like Yeah, like, you know, what's your thing? What do you do?
Yeah,
like, you know, a lot of our friends are DJs, and
Yeah.
they, like, find
DJ.
something, you know, you could do hashtag DJ, but that's
Or, like,
super broad, so, you know,
lo-fi.
your post, yeah, exactly, like, you've got to go in and delve in a little bit deeper than the broad terms, because you can definitely do hashtag DJ, but your post is going to get just, like, buried in a sea
Of
DJs. Another DJ
from all over.
Yeah, and so, like, finding what is unique to you, like, I promise you there's a hashtag and there's a community that follows that hashtag and that interacts with it, and so hashtags are really great tools, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to admit it, but I use them all the time. Like, I do admit it. I admit it. Like, people know I use hashtags out the wazoo, but also, like, when I'm searching stuff, I use hashtags too.
I
like,
do it all the time.
When I'm looking
do it, like, every
for,
day.
yeah, like when I'm looking for flyers or events to go to, or people, or I'm looking for models, or I'm looking for somebody or a producer in the area, I'm like, Denton model.
Yeah.
That's what I'm searching for.
Yeah.
And the people that have it up there, I DM because I can find them.
Exactly.
Otherwise, how am I supposed to find just like out of the blue? Like, how am I supposed to do it?
Yeah, it's a really great tool. Yeah, it's just awesome. And yeah, there's all kinds of like myths surrounding it. Like, you can only use, I think, like, I've heard one time you can only use like 15 or 10 or something.
You can use more than that.
You can use more than that. It's just that some people don't like the way it looks, but you can always add them in the comments if you don't.
Okay, so
I
teach
just
me.
separate them with a dot.
So, okay, I struggle.
You don't like
I
it.
struggle with that. So how do you get it? Okay, so when I usually will do a post and then I'll do the dots. But whenever I post it, like,
Does it mush?
It mushes, and it also like puts one of the dots up at the top.
Okay, this is a life hack for that problem. If you have that problem, make sure that there's no space after. So say you have your caption.
Right.
There cannot be a space after that. Otherwise, that next line is going to go up to that next line.
So
I hope that makes sense.
So explain it a little more step by step. So you type your
type
thing.
out your post. Usually
Period.
it's just period. Make sure there's no space after that.
So you put the dot in right there.
No, you go to the next line. So you'll hit the return button. Instagram used to not be able to do this when you're doing a caption. So I did all my captions in my notes tab, because you could go to the next line. Well, now Instagram has the return button. So make sure there's no space after your period or whatever, your emoji, whatever.
And hit return.
Hit return, do the period, make sure there's no space after it, and then hit return again.
Wow.
So yeah. That was something I had to figure out because it looked really ridiculous.
That's game right there.
Yeah, so that's just a little trick if you didn't know how to do that.
I couldn't figure it out. So I just learned something very, very new. Yay, this is working. That's awesome. No, I love that.
That's
I
my spiel. Welcome to my hashtag TED Talk.
I'm going to be like all up in your brain. I'm going to be like, okay, well, how do I do this?
Yeah, for real though. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to just help everybody like figure out what the heck they're doing on social media, because it's hard.
It's hard, but it's such an amazing tool.
Yeah, and if you know how to use it, you'll really get a lot of benefits from it. So
I think so. I agree.
Yeah, so let's re-up on your professional advice.
You said that so much better than me. I couldn't get it out. I was like, re-up.
We need some bloopers. It's okay.
We need somebody with the thing. Okay, so professional advice. I think I want to kind of play off what you're talking about is building your community and kind of touch on the DM thing and like. So when I first started, I started out acting. So I went through this crazy dark place and I didn't know who I was and all of this crazy stuff. And I was very, very depressed and I was doing nothing. And I was like, what could I do right now to make me happy? And it was take acting classes. And then I started modeling. And then I started doing some more work in events. And every single clique that I worked with were cliques. They were cliques. And my first like coming out event I did was called the Trifecta, and it was a fashion, music, and dance show. So there was designers and there was models, and the models were walking around the artists, and in between there were break dancers, and it was awesome. And it was the first event I had ever done, and it was a really great turnout, and it was beautiful. And people were like, we've met so many people we've never met before. We've been in Detroit for these many years, blah blah blah. And I was just like, why aren't you talking to each other?
Why aren't you friends?
Be friends with each other. So I think it's super important to be the connector. That is how I've really cultivated my entire enterprise, if that's what you want to call it. But like, by being the person that is like, hey, you need to talk to Mariah because Mariah can help you with this, and you need to talk to her because vice versa. So being the connector, and 2, being willing to share. I can't express this enough. Like, the more you can give your secrets away, the more people will give their secrets to you. So you're not benefiting by holding all your secrets in and holding all your network in and not sharing any pieces of the pie, because nobody will give you pie when you run out of pie.
And we want some pie.
And everybody wants pie, okay? So, I mean, and it's really about being that, embodying the collaborative spirit, embodying sharing your work and volunteering. And I mean, before I moved to Detroit, I never got paid for a photo shoot. I still barely get paid to do photography. I'm not advocating don't get paid, but I am advocating like the value of building a network through volunteering, the value of sharing your network through social media. People are like, how are you making the ReVamp grow? How are you making the ReVamp grow? And I'm like, we're just sharing what everybody else is doing. We're not really doing anything like earth-shattering. I mean, we're doing our events, but
we don't do a lot of paid advertising. It's organic growth.
And it's because we're like, hey, what are you working on? How can we help you? That's my biggest thing. What are you working on? How can I help you? If you can do that in any conversation, like when you're networking, oh God, when you're networking, don't talk about yourself. Because it's just like a date. Yeah. Ask them questions, ask them what they do, what are they working on, and then you can fill in their gaps with your skills. Yeah. And they're going to love you for it. So that's really my professional advice when you're building your network in your community is volunteer, show support to other people, share your secrets, share your network, share your people, share your tips, and use hashtags. Duh.